want to make sure that we can sell it and that we're selling it as new. So we have our green check mark, so we know that we're eligible to sell it. And obviously it's not hazmat, it's not dangerous, so we can send it to FBA, but we're really mostly doing shoes, and that's what you've been getting for us, so it's not something that you really need to check, because shoes, I don't think any shoes are going to be flammable or explosive or anything that would be hazmat. So what we really care about is this eligibility. So we're going to check to make sure it's eligible. And then, like you said, we want to check that it's top 1%. This one is 0.09. But we also have our quota of 150,000, which this is at 150,000 right now. But we also want to look at the past. And if it's at 150,000 right now, that's cool. But if you can see on keepa, it's been really high before. So it's 500,000, that's 500,000, that's 500,000, that's 200,000. So over the course of time, this has really been something that I wouldn't want to buy. So just because it says it's 100,000 right this second, that doesn't really make me feel very comfortable about it. But I'm going to keep going through the parameters just so we can see what else we want to look at. And I say that if it's in clothing, shoes, and jewelry, we have 161 million products. So the 1% is 1.6 million, or 1,600,000, which is too high. So the cap really needs to be 150,000. So in this case, if you were just going by this is close, so this is okay. But we want our historicals to kind of be close also. And our historicals don't really give me much confidence in this listing. I want something that's been selling good for a long time, not something that may be selling okay right now and maybe won't be selling okay tomorrow. That's something that's really important, is it needs to be consistent. So then the next thing is we want to check the dollar value. It needs to be at least $10 or more, which I think I did hear you say. Now the reason is that we have our prep fee cost. And so for prep, it's about $2. And so I want to make sure that I'm making $8 after that $10. Because 10 minus 2 equals 8. So I'm checking for that $10. So in this case, you picked right here. And so we'll look at the sixth listing. And it says, I believe, $129.99. So it was interesting to me that the first thing you did was you kept looking at the keepa, and then you kind of came back up here, and you kind of looked at the sellers, and you looked over here, and you clicked this. This isn't really what we're even going to look at. What I really care about is that's why we have this tool right here. And so this tool is going to basically tell us everything we need. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to see, okay, I see it's this color, and I see we have black, so I'm going to switch to the black because that's what this is. And I can see the black is still $129.99. So I can take this price, and I can plug it in here, and this is what I want to see. So it's obviously it's over the $10, and it's over the 35%. So these are both following these next two parameters. So 3 and 4 are good. But in general, we wouldn't even move on to 3 and 4 because our number 2 isn't okay. And that's why we have it in order like this, because if one parameter isn't good, like this is what's important. So if what's important is bad, and then we move on to the next step, then why are we looking at even more information? It's a waste of time. It's like if I wanted some cheese from the store, and I knew that I wouldn't be home for a long time, and the cheese was going to spoil, then why would I go and buy my cheese in the morning? Because it's going to spoil before I get home. So I should go to my store in the evening before I go home to buy my cheese. So in this case, if I'm not making enough money, then I don't need to worry about any of the other details. Because I already know that I'm not going to make money on it, so I don't want to buy it. So that's why I make sure to put these things in order like this, and I try to make it really easy to follow. That's why I number them, and I make sure to separate them so they aren't confusing or they don't like look like they're really close together. And so then I have this separate parameter that I say the ROI can be 25% if the dollar value is at least $20. And sometimes I'm a little lenient on that, and it can be like 18. But I really want it to be kind of close. Because the reason for this ROI is that I have an expectation that if something is 35%, and I'm making $15 right now, if somebody decides to move the price and tomorrow I'm only making $12, I'll say today and then tomorrow. Well, $12 is still good, but maybe it's only 29%. This extra money is helping me make sure that I can make this money tomorrow. But if I start at, let's say, $10 and 25%, well then tomorrow it might be $5, and that's going to be 1%. And so here, I'm not really making any money, especially because, again, I have my prep cost of $2. So I'm going to have 5 minus 2 equals 3, which means my ROI is really going to be like 2%. And that's just a waste of my money, and it's a waste of my time, because my money is going to take a long time to come back to me, because I'm going to have to buy the product, it's going to have to ship to Amazon, and then Amazon has to receive it, and then it has to sell. So this could take 2 months. So if I put out $100 for one pair of shoes, or $1,000 for 10 pairs of shoes, and then it takes us 2 months to get my money back, well then I just had to wait 2 months just to get $1,000 that I already had. When instead, if I was following this, then maybe I would get back $1,200, which is great, because now instead of buying 10 pairs of shoes, I can now buy 12 pairs, which is what I want. Because if I don't make any money, then I can't pay you either. Because this is where this money is going. It's going to me buying more pairs, so we can make more money, and that way I can pay you for your salary. And so if I'm not making any money, I can't pay you for your salary. So this is something that has to work together for all of us. So that's why I try to make sure that these things are in order like this. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to pick a different one. I'm going to pick one that I like. Because we already see that this has things that I don't like already on it. So I'm going to go back to the sheet. And here, I'm going to grab from here. So I like these New Balance. So I'm going to show you why. I didn't really even check Shoot Carnival when I did this. I just wanted to see, based on what the information you gave me, if it was good. So maybe it's out of stock right now. Hopefully it's not. Then I can buy it. But you said to buy this, and this is size 8.5. So let's go over here and make sure they have size 8.5. That's really awesome. So they do have it in stock still. This is the first thing I want to see. How much is it? $79.98. So I can copy this, and I can come over here, and I can paste it in. And so now I see what's my BSR. My BSR is 138,000. It was 180,000 before, so that's not that bad. And I can look on the keepa chart and I can see here's 100,000. And so if I put my line at 100,000, it's 100,000 here. It's almost 100,000 here. So what about 150? Well, 150 is between 200 and between 100. So that's about right here. So you can see on this line, I'm going to do this so that I can draw on it. Well, 150 is like right here. So I can see here, 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 all of this, here, all of this. So I know that it stays in this range that I want, because it goes there and underneath a lot. And so that's what I'm looking for. So just because it says 180, I know that 180 is close to my 150. There's 138 right this minute, because it moves over time, as we can see. And so my understanding is that this is following what I want. So now I can see that it's $22 at 28%, which also follows. So if I go back here, I can see it's new. I can sell it. It's our top 1%. It's 0.08%. And it's 150K. It's 138K. And so then I move down. And I say, is the dollar value $10? Well, the dollar value is $20. Okay. Well, is our ROI 35? Well, our ROI isn't 35, but it's 28. Well, it's 25% if it's 20. So that follows our second parameter. So it could be this or this. So since it doesn't follow this, but it does follow this, then we're okay. So we're going to look and see, is there 30 sales? I'm sorry, in 30 days, sales at least 45. So I can come here and I can see estimated sales. It says 31. I'm okay with that because I can see that there's only 3 sellers. So I think that I have a good idea that I can sell this with the amount of people that are on this listing along with me. And that's my purpose behind this, is I want to make sure that I have enough sales to cover the amount of people that I'm competing with. So now I'm going to look at the keepa chart. Check keepa. Look for sales ticks. So I can come here and I can see the keepa chart goes up and down a lot, so it must be selling a lot. I can also see if I remove the buy box and I remove the new offer price, every single one of these dots is a sale. So this thing has actually sold a whole bunch, it looks like. So this looks like something that does get consistent sales, which is something that I want. So now we followed. Can we sell it? Yes, we can sell it. Is it top 1%? Yes, it's top 1%. Is it under 150,000? Yeah, it is under 150,000. We saw that right here. Is it dollar value $10 or more? And dollar value is $28. I'm sorry, $22. Is it 35%? No, but it is 25% and $20. So we're good. Do we get 45 sales a month? We get 31. This might be something that you should stay away from, but I'm kind of okay with it for right now. Check keepa. Do we have sales ticks? Well, we came down here, and it looks like we get a lot of sales. So this is consistency that I'm looking for. Do we have a minimum price of 10% ROI? So again, we're looking back at this. If today is 35% and tomorrow is 29%, that's okay. But if we start at 25 and we go down to 2 or 9, depending on what our fees are, then we're not going to make the money on it. So again, if we have 10%, in the past, I know that if today it's 25% and 2 months ago it's 10%, then I can guess that it shouldn't go lower than 10%. So I have expectation of profit or break even. Because again, the goal is to make money, but if we can't make money, then I don't want to lose it. So on this other flip that you gave us, here, we need to keep it load. And I know this is longer than 3 months, but this is just so I can show you if a past price is somewhere. Well, if it's $129.99, am I making 10%? I'm not. But unfortunately for this, we just don't have enough data. And we already said that it was not good because of the sales rank, so that's what excluded this. This is what made this one bad. But if for whatever reason, this was the history we were looking at, and you said, look, we're at 202, you could say, hey, Mr. J, 202 is 27% and $35. But I would say, Mr. Delio, what is the past? Well, the past is $159.95. And so $159.95 is not helping us. That means we're losing money because this isn't actually $129.99. This is actually $132 because we have to pay for prep. So I'm losing money. And if I'm losing money, then eventually I can't employ you. And I'm sure you want to remain employed, and I would like to keep employing you, and I would like to keep making money with you. So we'll go back to this listing. So we have to check our number of sellers. Because again, the sales rank is telling us how fast something is selling. And it tells us how much it is selling. So if something is 150,000, then it's not selling as many units as something that's 1,000. So what I feel comfortable is that if there's 5 sellers, then I can compete and make money. But if there were 120 sellers at 150,000, we can think about it like this. If it sells 40 units a month, because 150,000, there's 5 sellers. Each seller sells 8 units. That's okay. But now, if we have 150,000, and it's still 40 units a month, but we have 50 sellers, for 40 units, everyone doesn't even sell one. So if I don't have a guarantee to sell 1 unit, where's my money? How am I going to make a profit? So that's why we have these. These are a general estimate of how much we expect product to sell based on its sales rank, and how many sellers we think that we can compete against in order to sell our product. So in this case, we have 3. Those rank 138,000. So where would we fall? Well, it's over 100,000 and it's under 150. So we're going to have to fall into this 150. Is it less than 5? 3 is less than 5. So yeah. So we're good. So number 8 is great. So we need to move on to our next one. I changed this a little bit, which is why I need to make sure that you... Oh, it's the next one, actually. This is Amazon out of stock, excuse me. So we want to make sure that we're not competing with Amazon. Whose platform is this? Is it Jacob's platform or is it Amazon's platform? I mean, I think it's Amazon's platform. So, if Amazon makes the rules, then Amazon gets all the sales. Amazon.com. Amazon makes the rules. Amazon can make the money if they want to, and they can exclude me, just if they feel like it. So we need to make sure that at least half the time, Amazon's not here. If somebody's selling drugs on the block, and the drug dealer is missing from the street half the time, then I think that I can sell my drugs half the time, and I can make some money. But if the neighborhood drug dealer is there 90% of the time, and I want to sell my stuff, where will I sell it? Who are people going to buy from? This guy or me? Whose street is it? His or mine? Well, Amazon.com. They make the rules. So if they're here half the time, then I can't make money half the time. So that's why I want to make sure that Amazon is not in stock. They do not have product to sell at least half the time. But what's more important, frankly, is their buy box statistics. Well, let's say they're being nice today. If they're being nice and they say, hey, I have my stuff, but you can sell today, and tomorrow, and the day after. And let's say maybe even the day after that. So now we have today, tomorrow, the day after, and the day after that. That's 4 days. 4 over 7 days in a week, that's more than 50%. So that means that half of the week, I can sell my stuff and make money. So if Amazon has the buy box less than 50% of the time, then they're allowing me to sell my products at least 50% of the time. So that's why I want to go to my data and go to my buy box statistics and look to see if Amazon's selling it. They're not selling it at all now. We have this Ever Onward store and Techno Spot. So I can kind of guess that, well, is it Ever Onward store? No, it's Amazon.com. Is it Techno Spot? No, it's Amazon.com. So, based on that judgment, I can sell. Because Techno, me, and Ever Onward are the same. In the eyes of Amazon. So once I've covered these, and on this one we know that Amazon out of stock is 100%, so they never sell it, so I don't have to compete with them. And I just don't have to compete with them at all, so that's great for me. That means I don't have any competition. That means the neighborhood drug dealer doesn't exist. It's just a bunch of random people. I can sell, because we're all the same in the eyes of Amazon. So then we want to go down to our variations, if they're available. Most of the time with shoes, they will be available, because they have different sizes and different colors. So here, what we're looking at, if there's less than 8 color variations, I put it as 8, I'm going to put it as 10. So let me change that right now for you. Let's make it 10. Alright, looks like I gotta change it one more time. There we go, 10. How many variations do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's awesome. There's only 6 variations. So that means that each of these is probably getting way more sales than if it had 20 variations. So what I'm looking at now, if there's less than 10, well, here there's 8, so that's less than 10, or I'm sorry, it's 6, so that's less than 10. The product must have within 30% of the top ratings. So let's take a look. We'll go to our variations tab. Oh no, it's not working for me right this second. Let's reload this. We go to our variations. I'm going to sort by rating. What size do we have? 8.5. What is the top variation? 42. So if the top is 42, and we're looking for 8.5, I need to look at the size. So I'm going to move down till I find 8.5. 8.5 is right here. So that's 22. So I have 22 over 42, and that's 52%. We can multiply it by 100 and we get a percentage. So it's 52.38%, technically. So 52%. 52%. Is that more than 30? It is. So that follows that parameter too. The thing is, this rank, this BSR, is made up of all of these. So that means that the more of these that there are, if we have the same BSR, then the less sales they all get. And I'll break it down like this. If I have BSR 100,000, and there's 5 variations, and there are, let's say, 500 sales per month, and that's for the entire listing. Now, if we also have BSR 100,000, and we have 20 variations, and we still, because it's 100,000, we have the same number of sales. So we get 500 sales per month. Again, for the entire listing. Well, let's see. Each variation will sell 100 shoes, but here, each variation sells 25 shoes. So now what you see here is that each one of these sells 25% to what these sell. 1/4. Well, which do I want to sell on? I would rather sell on this. So if I have top variation, and it gets 5% of the whole listing, that's better than this, where top variation only gets 2% of the whole listing. Because here 5% is going to be 25 sales, and 2% of this is going to be 4 sales. So now, if I have variation 20, let's say, that gets 2%, well, 2% of 100 pairs is going to be 2 shoes per month. And now if we have the same variation 20, variation 20 here might only be 0.5%. So what's 0.5%? This. That's 1 shoe. So now we can see which one is better to sell. So that's why I need to make sure that based on how many variations there are, we can stick higher or lower. Because in percentages, percentages for more sales, the percentage is higher. They're getting the same sales, but it's a different percentage. So 1/2 versus 2 is a big difference. I'm sorry, 2% of the, I'm sorry, it's not 2% of this, it's 2% of this. So 2% of this is 10. Hold on. 2 times 5, yeah. That's 10 shoes. There we go. So now you have the top variation and variation 20. So variation 20 here is selling 1 shoe, but variation 20 here is selling 10 shoes. That's why less variations is better. And that's why with less variations I can go down more. But if I have more variations and I go down more, then I'm going to sell even less. 1 shoe for the same variation depth. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's why I say if there's 10 color variations, the product must have within 30%. So if an AZIinsight variation is ranked as 100 ratings, and the product you're looking at should not have less than 30 ratings. And if it's more than 10, then it's 50%. So if the variation has 100 ratings, the product should have less than 50 ratings, should not have less than 50. Just for example of the percentage basis. And another thing that I stated is the past average price matters more than the current price. So in this photo, the price is not 150, which is right here, which is right up here. Because at any moment, this could come right back down to here. It's been at $74 for all this time. Just because it got up here, I don't have any expectation that it's going to stay there. Which was more? Was it here more? Or was it here more? So you can see this is not 150 because the price jumped there suddenly. Notice how the price dropped back down to 98 from 150 right here. So you can see this is the same image. We just have more time. So look, we got up here and we came right back down. So if we were thinking we were going to sell it for $150, we were sadly mistaken. So it was not a good expectation to say it would stay at 150. And this is a risk that we do not want. Because again, let's say this product costs $70, $75. Well, at $98 on Amazon fees, they're going to take away 15%. So that's $14. So that's already $83. And then they're going to ship it. So they're probably going to charge me another $5 to ship it. So I have $78. So the price was $74.40. So minus $74.40, I'm making $4 on the $70 that I said it costs, or the $74.40 that I said that it costs. I'm making 5%. I can multiply it by 100. That way it's a percentage. 5.2%. That is significantly less than what we're looking for. If I'm making 5% and it takes me a whole month, or 2 months, or 3 months to get back that money, then where am I going to pay you? Where am I going to pay myself? Where am I going to pay for the tools that you use? Where am I going to pay for the software? Where am I going to pay for our electricity? Where are we going to pay for all of this stuff that we need? So I also say we need to be aware when the price is decreasing while sellers are increasing. As more competition comes in, people want to sell. And if you see more people trying to sell, the only way to sell faster is to sell for less. So usually they work inversely, meaning they work opposite of each other. So sellers and price work opposite. As price goes up, as sellers go up, price usually goes down. Because the only way to compete with other people is to sell for less than them. So now, if we have 5 people, and the price is 100, maybe it's okay. people trying to sell. So now one person says sell at 99. Then person 2 says sell at 98. Well, we have 10 people here. So now everybody else is going to say, oh, the price just went down from 100, and now it's 98. So next thing you know, person 3 sells for 95. Because they think the next person's going to try and sell for 97, so they want to get there first. And then person 4 says, oh crap, price is dropping. How will I sell? So now they sell for 90. And then you see 89, 88, 87, and it goes down. Like we see here. Price starts up here all the way at 150. And in this 3-month period, it gets all the way down to, looks like about $80. So if you see price already decreasing with sellers increasing, it will lead to even lower prices later, which means lost profit, which means more risk. And our entire job here is to be aware of our risk, and is to make sure that we're taking profit that's not risky, because we want to make more money and not lose money. And the last thing I say is we want to make sure the quantity matches. This is for stuff that you've gotten off tactical arbitrage before. Because maybe the quantity on Amazon is 4. So let's say like soap. So Amazon says soap 4-pack, $100. And then Walmart.com says soap one pack, $25. What's 25 times 4? 25 times 4 is 100. So this is the same price. There's no profit. This isn't a lot of money. It's not $25 buy. You sell for $100. It's $100 buy, sell for $100. So we got to be aware of bundle listings. And then we want to make sure the gender matches, because men's size shoes and women's size shoes are differently in the United States. In the US, men's size 10 is like a women's size 13. And a men's size 8 is like a women's size 11. They're not the same. So if you find men's size 10 at Dick's and find women's size 10s on Amazon, these don't match. And the other issue with size from the size is that often shoes are made differently. The style is different. The UPC code is different. So this is going to make a whole lot of extra effort and work. Number one, the UPC code is different. That means our prep center might mess it up. If the style is different, that means the customer is going to notice and not like it. And if the shoes are entirely different, well, the customer is still going to be unhappy. They're going to return it. We get charged the pick and pack fee for the original sale. We have to do another pick and pack on the return, and then we're going to have to return it to the store. So right here, that's money lost. That's time lost. And then we might not even be able to return it. So then that's product cost, pick and pack cost 2 times, and that's all a loss. So we need to be extremely careful that we're not doing that. Because we're not trying to lose all this money. Because I could have bought the product for $100. And then the pick and pack cost might have been $8. And so now, times 2, that's 16. So now I've lost $116. All lost. Where's that going to come from? And so I'll give you an example for Rule 11, which is our keepa. Variations by rating, and how many color variations there are. So you can see this is 33 color variations. So it would fall at the 50% rule. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 14. 14 times 2, because there's 2 more rows, is 28. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. That is much more than 10. So we need to make sure that it's over 50%, whatever the variation is. This is 3 color variations, so it'll follow the 30% rule. Do you happen to have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Hans, do you happen to have anything to say?
No, this might be a lot, and I understand. So I'm gonna